Welcome back to the Maven Show. This is your host, Rohit. Today we have Adrian, the creative leader and omnichannel marketing expert. Thank you, Adrian, for getting into the show.
Thank you, Rohit.
Awesome. So I think you are also the one of the agency owner and running the agency from last more than 10 years now, and helping mid-sized businesses, helping small guys into the industry in e-commerce, mainly real estate, you said as well. So would you just like to give a quick runway of your entire journey, how you got started with the agency, how you used to help with the clients, and what's your major goal behind the agency,
Okay. So thanks, Rohit, for having me on. Numero Uno Web Solutions was actually born being a digital marketing department of a different company, which is still the parent company. So in 1986, Lombardi Publishing Corporation was founded, and they did direct-to-consumer publishing of newsletters, economic advice, stock market advice, direct-to-consumers just in Canada. And that business grew to be an online business. So we took that business from just doing print newsletters to online newsletters and websites. We also had a health newsletter division, and we were growing digitally online. So in 2012, we decided to incorporate our own company called Numero Uno Web Solutions to help small to mid-sized businesses in the greater Toronto area to help grow and get more business using SEO, using social media, doing some web development, web design, content marketing. So what we did is we took what we learned from our publishing company on using content to help increase the traffic and increase the conversions, and we started doing it for local businesses. And we've had hundreds of different companies use us for their web marketing since 2012.
Awesome. Cool. So, so I just have one quick question first, you are the omnichannel expert in the industry, So would you like to speak what does it mean? Like if someone is getting started with the marketing and so on, like what omnichannel means and how it actually works and how this can actually be a fuel for any business.
So I guess the omni-channel expert part of it is when I started in this business, I started with direct mail copywriting. And so we were doing a lot of direct mail marketing. And what we found as we grew is using this omni-channel marketing. So using direct mail, display, paid ads, organic, social media, even doing some radio, doing a little bit of satellite radio to promote our various businesses that we had, was able to further increase our reach. So one of our big breakthroughs was when we started doing our direct mail, we were asking our customers to send back literally an order form, a piece of paper with either a check or a Visa or MasterCard number. They would send it back to us, and that's how we would fulfill their subscriptions. What we did is we started doing it on the website instead. So we were promoting a website through our email marketing channel, and we were promoting that very same website through our direct marketing channel. So it was like an omni-channel marketing system. So we were doing various ways of attracting attention back to our company using everything that was available to us. And the key for us is that once we tested something on a small scale and it worked, we were able to expand and scale it up and really go deep for it. And that's what helped grow the company.
Awesome. So awesome. So I think you in the marketing, it's something known as budget into the ads, you know that very well. So So tell me, how, I think audience would love to hear how to budget the marketing spend, because many of the small businesses does not even have the marketing budget, to be honest. They used to do marketing on their own as well. They don't even have the money to hire the agency, obviously. They are looking for just a one-man army to hire one guy who can be taken care as a whole. So how you would like to define for each, even for small businesses, even for mid-size, even mid-size have money, so how you would like to go?
Yeah, for any business. So the way we have worked on our own side of the business, as well as what we've recommend it to all of our clients as well, is the key is for us is really boils down to 3 letters, and that is LTV, lifetime value. So the lifetime value of a customer. So what a lot of business leaders or people who are running smaller businesses tend to make a mistake about is that they take the AOV, the average order value, as the prime metric for measuring success with marketing instead of the LTV. So what does that mean? So for example, in the publishing side, so for the publishing company that we have, you know, our average order value is $295, right? So for $295, somebody can come in and get a subscription to one of our financial newsletters, and that will last for 1 year. Okay. So if I spend X amount of dollars on marketing, so let's say I spend $3,000 on marketing, you know, to break even, I need about 11 subscriptions if I was just going on average order value. Instead, I take the lifetime value of a client. So what that means is I look at the average client might, you know, stay on for 2 years. And during that 2-year period, there's upsell opportunities, right? I can upsell them different subscriptions. I can upsell them premium subscriptions. There's the renewal income. I can get renewal income from that person. So that way, you know, they're not here for 1 year. They might be here for 2, 3, 4. There's also other ancillary benefits. I can upsell them books. I can rent their names through my mailing list. I can do some email marketing to them. And what that does is increases the lifetime value. So for example, one customer, while the average order is $295, their lifetime value might be $1,500. So if I'm spending $3,000, that means I only need 2 clients to break even. So if I get 4, I'm making a profit, which means if I'm testing it, I'll scale up. And that's something I like to try to explain to our clients, to say, what is your lifetime value? And truth be told, Rohit, sometimes they don't know. They really don't know what their lifetime value. They don't know, for example, if one person walks in their store and buys a $5 product or buys a $20 product, they don't know what the actual value of that person is, whether they're going to come in again, whether they're going to refer somebody else, whether they're going to do a refund too, because the LTV can go both ways, right? So that is for budgeting wise. So I guess in a roundabout way, just to get to the answer to your question, I always like to say to a customer, figure out what your lifetime value of a customer is, and then test a small amount on your marketing to see how many customers you can get. Chances are good you might be losing money up front. But if that person in the long run over a 2-year period is going to spend and you'll be able to recoup and make money off of that, then scale up and go big with it.
Awesome. Cool. Good to know, you know. So, and I think it's like lifetime value is something which each and every business should need to know. And there's the big thing, like in the beginning of the journey of any business owner, like they don't know. We have also seen that.
Yeah,
they used to. They used to.
You're right.
They used to hear from their like advisory guys, or they used to hear from the consultants, like, you know, or the business guy. But yeah, it's real. Like we have seen that too.
Yeah, it's important to do the research. It's important to figure out, okay, so if I get one customer in the door, so for us at Numero Uno, like, you know, our average order value is a $2,000 per month order. So if I look at my average LTV, you know, from that client, you know, it's anywhere between $75,000 to $80,000, depending on upsell capabilities, depending on cross-selling. So for example, you know, somebody could come in, they start SEO with us, and down the road they need a new website, we'll quote on that website.
Exactly.
So I do, for example, I do multi-channel marketing. So we've done pay-per-click ads, we do social media, we do our SEO, we do our content marketing, we do our email marketing, and I run radio ads. I run local radio ads pretty much every quarter. They're a lot of money up front. And if anybody knows about the radio industry, you know, it is a big investment up front. I don't make that back. I don't make that back in month 1. I don't make that back probably for the first 6 months of after that radio ad runs. But I know it's worth it. I know that loss at the beginning is going to pay back in dividends down the road.
Got it. Radio is a big, like, since the, like, early age, you know, not in the modern age, like it's running from the last many years now. Yeah.
No, and it's actually been one of our most successful ways of acquiring new customers. So we do radio spots, and you know, being in Toronto, we have a big market here. You know, we are, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth largest city in North America. So there's a lot of listenership. There's, you know, just, I think close to, I think it's 2.5 million people in the city. So you do get a big listenership. And if you go to the right stations and you put the right creative out there, you'll get the response. Now, like I said, you will never make it back right off the bat. So that's the other thing too, is you have to be patient as well. I tell my customers too, SEO is not an overnight thing. PPC, paid Google ads, that's overnight. I could get you paid ad response right away if the offer's right and if the campaign's doing well. But on SEO, it's a slow build. Like I tell my customers, it takes about, you know, sometimes it takes a year for you to start really reaping the benefits of SEO.
No, that's real. 6 months to a year is something we also do. Like we used to tell to clients, like 6 months is minimum. You should go rank a website on the first page, you know? So yeah, and PPC is immediate. Just put in money, get leads. Simple. Awesome. So Adrian, tell me, like, I think you been into the business, getting new customers, clients, you know, getting new clientele. You must have experienced the sales copies. So what's the strategy behind the great sales copy to convert the prospect into client, you know?
Well, it's something that I've been trying to figure out for 25 years. So I started as a copywriter in this business, doing direct mail copywriting. And, you know, it's always been a challenge. The number one thing is to have a persuasive offer, to make sure that you have a solid, proof-laden, you know, offer that is going to be compelling to somebody to act. And then secondly, to make sure, and this is something that I think a lot of companies forget to do, at least I've seen it in my experience, is to have that call to action. If I tell somebody, here's something I'm going to offer you that is got a proven track record of success that can help solve your problem, okay, those three things, but without directing them on how to take advantage of it, well, you've already lost, right? So it's almost like having a store with a big sign that says, get your widget here. It's at a great price, and this is why you need it, but they can't find the door to walk into the store. Right? So you need that offer. And that's the key, is to have that offer, and you have to present it. So that's why I tell any client that I deal with, for example, if they're doing paid ads, don't direct them to your website, direct them to a landing page. You can even be a copy of the website, but first of all, a landing page helps you track your sales directly from a specific campaign, number one. But number two, you can eliminate any distractions. So for example, all the other menu items, anything else that might distract, because the goal of a landing page is that person just click that one button. And that's really the key to it, is to have a clear call to action on your copy. Obviously, an enticing headline is great. Obviously, copy that is well written. So if it's a long copy, you're reading paragraph after paragraph. It's full of proof. Testimonials are huge. If you don't have testimonials on your website, if you don't have testimonials on your Google business profile, you're missing out on a lot, right? Because everybody loves the most powerful advertising is word of mouth advertising.
UGC is number one as well. You know, like getting out reviews, the people who have experienced your product and service, putting their reviews on, like real authentic thing. That's the only word of mouth. And this is big. This is real big. Yeah.
So that's what I always tell my clients. Like, we can write copy for them, but if there's no call to action, and if there's no testimonials, which helps with the proof, you have to excuse me, because I can't remember. There used to be, it was the 4 there's 4 P's of marketing, which was proof, problem. I should have read it before we got on.
I got it.
Anyway, but that's the key is to help solve a problem, show the proof that you can solve the problem, and have a friendly offer and the call to action to that offer.
And that I think each and every single business it needed to succeed has to have solved the problem.
100%. 100%.
Awesome. Cool. So lifetime value is something which should not be small. It's just by the name, So tell me the best ways, like if anyone who is looking to increase, any business looking to increase the lifetime value of their customers, even in the B2C, B2B, or both.
Yeah. So the best way is always when you're growing a business, is customer service is number one. You have to make sure that you take care of your customers. You want to keep them happy, because at the very least, they'll maintain the business with you. So that will keep their business going, which is always going to increase your lifetime value. The one thing that increases your lifetime value is the time that the customer is with you. It's the easiest way to increase the lifetime value, because if you're just connecting with a customer once a month, and if they're staying with you every month, or if they're coming back to you on a regular basis monthly, then you're already winning, because you're not having that attrition. You're not having that customer drop off. But always offer your customers more value. Always offer them potentials to help them grow, solve more of their problems.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm, for example, selling, and this is actually a potential client that I'm dealing with, let's say I'm selling cookies. Okay. And these cookies, I'm selling them online. How can I increase that value of a customer? Well, you can have a subscription service on that cookie. So for example, order the cookies from my website, and I'll make sure that you get more cookies before your first box runs out. So there you go. You have continuity, and you have a subscription that increases it. Always stay in touch with your customers, either through phone, if you're doing any kind of outbound, or through email marketing, or through any kind of social channels, and offer them special deals to help increase their value, their lifetime value. So don't be afraid to offer special customer only deals, customer only sales, exclusive events for customers. Increase the value of that customer by getting them to spend more with you and to develop that relationship. And I think one of the keys is acting fast. So sometimes the best time to ask for an upsell is on the original sale. Okay. And the number one company that did that really proved that, was McDonald's. When they always asked, when somebody would buy a hamburger, they would always ask, do you want fries with that? Right away. They didn't ask them the next time. They didn't give them a coupon for fries later on, right? They didn't just take the hamburger order and say, thank you very much. They asked right away, I want to buy a hamburger. Do you want fries with that? And that is, I think, the most simplest form of how an upsell works that increases the lifetime value of a customer. Because now, instead of that customer spending the $1 on the hamburger, probably back in the 1950s or whenever, now they're spending $1.50 on a hamburger and fries.
That's the great example.
It's and by the way, I remembered the persuasion equation for good copy. It's from a copywriter that I met 18 years ago named Gary Bencivenga. Urgent problem plus unique promise plus unquestionable proof and a user-friendly proposition.
User-friendly proposition. Gotcha.
Which is your offer. Okay. So urgent problem, I'm hungry. Unique promise, this will be the best burger you've ever tasted. Unquestionable proof, over 1 billion sold. User-friendly proposition, only $1. And then, do you want fries with that?
I do. I do. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I just have my last question, and we're good to go with the episode, So tell me, like, we talked about omnichannel, we talked about marketing, we talked about ads, we talked about a lot in this. So how to bring a business to success, like anyone who is getting started though, or struggling to get sales, do you think business can be successful without marketing? I don't think so.
No. There's some businesses that can be successful without marketing. If it's very rare. Like there might be some very niche businesses that sell very high priced products that might just have a very small marketplace where it's referral and it's always built. But like, you should always be doing marketing. I know that, the economy can get tough. And a lot of people like to cut marketing first. They like to cut sales first, right? Because they look at it as potential as opposed to like reality. Okay. So marketing is the potential to get sales. You do marketing with the hope of bringing in sales versus sales you already have, right? So it's funny because people don't look at marketing like as a necessity, but yet at the same time, if you have a store, okay, and you have a store window, okay, and let's say you decide to, I don't think a store like a boutique or anything like that, if they want to cut their marketing, they wouldn't just shutter those windows, right? They wouldn't just not put out those windows, or for example, if it was a business that did business at night, they wouldn't shut the lights off to save electricity because that'll prevent people from walking in the door. Yeah. You're always doing some sort of promotion, some sort of marketing. And I know that when times are tough, you do have to cut and you do have to be wise with your spending. So that's why you should always test and stick to what works for you. And don't be afraid to try new things as well. Try different channels of marketing. We never did radio before. It's only been a few years since we started. And if we never did it, we would have lost out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit because it actually worked out for us. So that'll be my biggest tip would be always to keep marketing, test, do things small, then scale up. And then if it works, make sure you do scale up and keep doing what is working.
That's what all should follow. Even I'm following the same.
There you go.
Everyone. Awesome. Well, that's all, Adrian. Thank you so much for getting into the show and sharing these insights regarding the omnichannel marketing, ad spend, getting a business to go through into the success, So that's all. Thank you so much for having in.
Rohit, thank you for having me.